Okay, oh, that's better. I had to delete some other things off my phone there because I was running out of space, but I think I can make another bit of video now. So, um, yeah, I was just talking about this one. It's another one that I've painted on board, and so it's slightly different for me working on a board instead of canvas that I said, but it's a bit more abstract and you can get some different effects, and I quite like that one, but I'm not exactly sure where it's from. I can't recognize it now. It might be partly out of my head, sometimes happens. Now, okay, so this one is in the field in front of John and Estelle's house. The field in front of John and Estelle's house, if you just go below their field and below Julian Collins' stables, there's this nice little rough patch. And when we were in lockdown and I was trying to do my plein air Mondays, which I mean, I go out every Monday and paint in the open air, but we'd just gone into lockdown, so I couldn't go up into the hills. And this one, I sat here one day and painted, but towards the end of last year, I don't know why, but it seemed to rain every Monday, and it started off very nice, and then I sat here with an umbrella getting wet, and I had quite a lot of that. So it was quite good, because when I went out this week on Monday, and it's only middle of March, it was actually nicer than any of the late summer ones last year. The weather was better. So that was nice. Yeah, so that's on canvas again. It's got an orange under painting. I like the sky in that one. And it's a 40 centimeters square, I think, that one. And if we come down and look at this one, this is when I was able to go up into the mountains. And that is up on Hatterall Hill. But you can walk up, there's a footpath up behind Cumioy. And it's quite hard at the start. It's hard to find the path, and then it's quite hard to walk on it. But if you get up past the first part, you get away up onto the top of Hatterall Hill and get this fabulous view out back towards Skirrid. And so I love to go up and paint up in the mountains, and I can get a certain way with the painting and then usually have to finish it off back in the studio. But I think I painted most of this when I was up there, and then decided I just liked it, like that bit of gorse appeals to me. And this is all the bracken, late summer again, and the nice distant view. And then if I come round here, this is one that some of you have seen, which is, I went for a walk on a Monday a couple of weeks ago. Didn't actually do any painting when I was there, but took some photographs. It was actually really cold. And I parked at the north and walked all the way down to Bigswear Bridge, and then walked along and back up Whitebrook. And and it was cold and misty, and that's on that lane coming back round towards Whitebrook. It's painted on board. It's painted over another painting. There's all sorts going on. You can see where I've had there's some tape around the edge I just painted over. It wasn't really intended to be a finished painting, but I actually quite like it. And I used a reduced palette of colours this time. I decided to pare it back a bit, so all I've used is blues and their complementary orange. So there's various different shades of blue and orange in that painting, and then you can get all these lovely greys if you know anything about sort of complementary colours and mixing them. If you mix two complementary colours, opposite colours in the colour wheel, you can get this fabulous range of colours. You can get purples and greens and all sorts going on. So that was nice challenge. I'm going to pause it because I need to move. Right, this is another version of the one you saw earlier. I'm not going to linger too long, but it's one of the earlier paintings I did. It's on board, and it's in a St Ives frame, which is a lovely frame. Quite often see seascapes and things like that in them, but I think they can set off the colourful paintings like this as well. They look quite nice the way they're set into the frames like this. So you just have a look at the frame, and this one it's a different version of that same painting, but it's still got some nice stuff going on. Looks a bit more like the oak trees now, not quite so piney, and a bit more colourful. So that's that one. Okay, I'm not sure that this is going to show up too well because I'm now not such good light. This isn't any natural light in this room, but this is from another of my plein air days last summer when I went to where there's a little nature reserve, a tiny little nature reserve at Craigadorth between here and Monmouth, and it was wet day and it was horrible, and I got lost. I had to fight my way through the bracken and bramble, and I was doing some sketches, and then came back down towards the car absolutely drenched and just thought, oh, I'm going to have another go. So I took out all my stuff again, sat down in the middle of the brambles and did a small sketch of this scene, and then when I came back I did this big painting, which is another 50 by 60 on canvas. And I suppose it wasn't lost, because I quite like this painting. I particularly like this hill at the background, and that is, so you're looking from Craigadorth over towards the Kimmin actually, but the Kimmin is somewhere behind that tree. But this is my thing, I just love to do all these fields and everything and get that looking right, so you get that sense of distance. And then there's a lot of texture and palette knife work going on here. So that's this painting. And then pause it again. So I have this painting on our sort of half landing because it's a great big thing. I hope I don't fall down the stairs when I'm trying to show you the whole thing. It's, I can't remember exactly, but just looking at it here, it looks like 50 by 80 centimetres or 90 centimetres, something like that, a really tall canvas that I bought for another project, and then realised I'd bought the wrong size, so I had it sitting there. But one day I just wanted to paint a particularly fabulous sky, and this seemed to be the right size canvas. And I like this painting because the colours are different from what I would normally do. And just zoom in a little bit. There's some nice stuff going on really in the sky. You see sort of drips and bits and bobs, textures. And then come back down here. So again, that is just the view from our house. And then if I turn around here, it's another view from our house. This time it was just another sky I just had to paint with that little string of white clouds at the bottom. So just zoom in there. You can see a bit of the detail. But the thing I try and do is keep the sky loose and not go in and paint over it too much. I do lots of layers of different colour glazes quite often as well, so there's a lot of building up goes into making this sort of sky, and then sometimes washing it off and going back in and building it up again. So it's always a bit hit and miss whether you get something that works, but I quite like this painting. It certainly was how I saw it at the time that I wanted to capture it. And if I just go down here quickly to this little painting, it's a funny little painting, I'm not even sure. I suppose it's finished. I don't want to paint over it because I quite like it, but this is when I went away up to Minute Gorse, up in the Brecon Beacons, or behind Crickhowell really, and I had a day painting up in the hill, and then I came back down and had a flat battery, which I do all the time. Jeff has to come and rescue me, so when I was sitting waiting for Jeff to come and rescue me, he's very good, I just was watching this little tractor going up and down, so I just took some photographs and did a little painting of it when I came back. But there's not much to that tractor, but it captures the kind of, there was seagulls and things flying around and crows and things, so it's just a funny little painting. But I just like the kind of mood of it, so I probably will frame that. It's just sitting, it's just resting in a frame at the moment. Oh, there's just 3 more I'm going to show you here. Another one in the St Ives frame. Yvonne, this will be familiar to you because this is a view from Tanglewood whenever the cow parsley is flowering, and it's one of the earlier paintings I did, but I like it because it's just got some nice colours going on. I quite like having them in my house. Sometimes I get a bit attached to them and don't want to sell them, but I suppose one day I better sell some paintings. There's some in exhibitions at the minute, but I like that painting. And then as you come around here, there's a more kind of, I'll not linger on that one, that's a kind of experimental one which may get painted over, from the Hay Bluff. A great day there because there was an ice cream van and I was able to sit painting and eating ice cream at the same time, and the big showers coming in. I think that was one of the days I missed circuits because I didn't get home in time. That's the trouble with painting on a Monday. And the last one to finish off with is here, and it's a similar view to one that you saw before, but it's again up on Hatterall Hill looking back towards the Skirrid. Sorry, the light's not very good on that, but it's all about really the little, there's collage on this as well. I just stuck paper down to get nice textures and things, so you get a bit of more interesting than just paint all the time. And just the hills in the distance. It was that little patch of green in the middle I liked about that one. And that's about it. I shall turn the camera around and say, okay, sorry I didn't want to do the zoom thing, but not everybody's going to be interested, so I hope that's okay. Hope you can see me because I don't know how to flip it round. And that's pretty much all I have of my paintings at the moment. Okay, bye.